Hello everybody, I'm Sotos Sotiriou, a lead SAP consultant at Milner Browne. I'd like to welcome you to our webinar to focus on an introduction to SAP Business One for wholesale and distribution. Now, a few words about Milner Browne. Milner Browne implemented the first SAP Business One solution in the UK. We've had over 400 successful projects in the last 10 years, and we are a SAP Gold partner and leading SAP Business One partner. So we focus mainly on SAP Business One. Now we've developed a range of apps called B1 apps, and there are over 21 add-ons in that range, and we have received various customer service awards. Now, SAP Business One, it's the most popular ERP solution in the world. We've got over 50,000 customers worldwide, and there are over 750,000 daily users of SAP Business One. So SAP Business One provides you with tools to manage every aspect of your business. It's designed mainly for small to medium-sized enterprises, and you can customize your own solution with the B1 apps range that has been developed by Milner Browne. So what's included in SAP Business One? So we have various modules that are available, and it's a complete solution. So we've got accounting and finance, we've got sales, CRM, we've got purchasing, order processing, we've got stock management and distribution, and we've got a complete set of reports and administration of SAP Business One. Also, there's a service call management, so you can use it to manage your service call center. And there is a human resource management module in the system. So, purchasing and operations. You can automate and manage the procurement process. So with regard to procurement, you can create purchase requests for multiple suppliers, you can manage those, and then obviously they can be converted to purchase orders, and then you can receive the goods into your premises, into your factory or your offices. There's master data management. So master data, we're referring to item master, we're referring to customers, suppliers. With this management, you can manage account balances, you can see analysis on purchases, you can manage various price lists and multiple tax information. Warehouse and accounting integration, so there's real-time updates of goods receipts and stock warehouse levels. Also, there are a wide range of reports that you can see real-time data and display these in different formats or dashboards, or even export them to well-known formats like Excel. Right, with regards to inventory and distribution, we have real-time inventory updates. So we can have warehouse and stock management. So you're managing different cost models for the stock with regard to average cost, FIFO, or standard cost. Also, you can maintain the item master data, multiple units of measure, so you can have different prices for different multiple units of measure. You can also manage your bin locations, so you can divide your warehouse into different zones, and you can optimize the movement and reduce the picking times. Also, you can manage the goods receipt and issue control, so you can record goods coming in, track stock locations, you can transfer stock as well, and you can perform stock and cycle counts. Also, you can manage production and MRP. MRP is Material Requirements Planning, so you can create and maintain bill of materials and issue and release production orders. maintain your prices for your bill of materials. Right, so what are the business benefits of SAP Business One? Well, you can proactively grow your business, you can respond quicker to what your customer needs, and you can eliminate redundant data entry and errors. And you can form a closer relationship with your customer. There is a choice of different deployment options, so you can have the solution on-premise or you can have hosting options. So this will help to lower your IT costs and have a quick return on your investment. Right, so let's have a look at a brief demo of these processes. So I'll switch to my SAP Business One demo system. So we can see here the main menu of SAP Business One, and you can see various modules on the menu. So in relation to wholesale and distribution, obviously you'd be looking at your sales. So in the sales module, you'd be looking at the sales orders where you can capture the sales orders, delivery where you're capturing deliveries that have been delivered to your client, and returns as well. Also in purchasing, this is where you'll process your purchase requests, where you can send various purchase requests to requesting purchase request, and then you can convert that to a quotation or even straight away to a purchase order, and then you can process the actual goods coming into your warehouse with goods receipts. Now, business partners, the customers and the suppliers in the system in a single window. So here you're going to manage your business partners in SAP Business One. They are called business partners. And the other areas are your stock management. Here we manage the stock. Here is the MRP that I referred to in the PowerPoint. Right, so let's kick off the demo and actually go in and see a sample item master data. So I'm going to bring up a sample master data. So you can see here, this is an example of a printer that's been sold by my company, my demo company, OEC Computers. And you can see here that you can have various setup that allows you to have belongs to a group. You can run analysis reports on the sales side and on the purchase side by grouping different items. Other very useful management methods are that you can manage multiple barcodes. So for example here, if I click here, you can see that for when I sell this item per as an each item, I can have multiple barcodes for each type of unit of measure. So you can see here, if I sell it as a pack, I can use this barcode. So you can set up, and you can see for this particular printer, it's assigned to a unit of measure setup, which you can purchase or sell them in each pack or carton. So you can set up your own unit of measure. So you can have various barcodes. The same exactly with the price lists. The price lists, you can have a price list and you can actually override for a carton. So you can see the example here. It has automatically multiplied based on the each and carton formula in the system, and you can override it to have a different price for each unit of measure. So you can see that there. Right, so here this is general information for the item master data. So you can have active or inactive items. We've got purchasing data here. So the kind of information we would have here is a preferred supplier. So you can set up multiple preferred suppliers. So you would use this when you're executing the MRP functionality of the system, where it recommends and it automatically creates purchase orders for you, and it would pick up the preferred supplier when creating the recommendations after you've executed the MRP wizard, which is right here in the MRP module. So we can buy in different units of measure. You can select which ones are applicable to this item. Also, you can sell with different units of measure. And then in the stock, we can see the warehouses that you can have transactions with this particular item. So you can see on a typical setup, you'll have various warehouses applicable depending on how your system's set up in your company. And we can see in stock for each warehouse, and we can see some additional information related to the stock. So you can see here information that can help you when you're running the MRP wizard, so you can recommend. So you can see here we're actually telling the system that there is minimum and maximum number that you do require to have in your warehouse. Planning data, this is mainly for the MRP regarding order intervals and order multiples. So this is where you can set up this information. And then you can have properties for reporting. You can put some remarks here. You can put a photo as well. And you can put various attachments here. So you can see an example. I've actually added some attachments here. It could be a PDF document, Excel, Word document, which is additional information regarding the item. So this is your item master data. So this is how to manage your items. Right, now if we go to MRP, where we have the planning, the system actually recommending to us how we should plan our resources. So we can have, first of all, we can have various forecasts. So you can see here an example of a forecast that's been put in the system, and you can have multiple forecasts. These are used when you execute the MRP wizard, and it recommends to you what orders to have from your suppliers. It will use, if you wish it to, use a specific forecast. So you can have a number of forecasts. So you can see one there for 2007, and you can see another forecast here, another couple here. Now, with the forecast, there is functionality on there to generate forecast based on historical data. So you could pick up on different statistics. So you can have a simple average or a monthly history, and you can pick up historical data from sales orders or deliveries and invoices. And here you can actually put the date that you wish to start. So I could start from the 1st of December last year if I really wanted to. So you can put in the system the forecasts, and you can manage your forecasts in that way. The MRP wizard allows you to create a scenario or run a scenario to create some recommendations. So when you create a scenario, you're giving the system a particular window to run in, a start date. So it could be from today, and you could be planning, let's say, a window of maybe four months ahead. And you can execute, you can select all items or particular items. You can select which warehouses it should be affecting, so it will check your different warehouses. And here you can actually select which particular sources of transactions it's using to come up with the calculation. So you can see here that it can look at various demand and supply documents. So you've got documents that affect your suppliers. So obviously you've got purchase requests, purchase quotations, purchase orders. You could have your blanket purchase agreements, and then you can have on your sales side, you choose whether or not it's going to be using sales orders, production orders, and then you can have the stock levels that were shown earlier. You've got stock levels that you want to keep in stock for your company. You can tell the system to pick up the minimum there. And the warehouse, the forecast that I used earlier, you can use a forecast or not use a forecast. So you could tell the system for the recommendations to create the purchase requests or to actually go all the way and create a purchase order. So you can execute that and it will come up with some recommendations. Right, so with the order recommendations, this is the type of screen you can get. And here you can manage the purchase orders that the system is recommending for us based on the demand that we had in our forecast and the various other demand of transactions that we selected when running our MRP wizard. So here we can select which purchase orders we wish to proceed with. Those, when you update them and it generates them, they will be removed from the list. They will create the purchase order or the purchase request, you can see there, or a purchase quotation, and then when you come back in, they will be gone from there. So you have the ability here to change the amount, so I can increase that amount if I wanted to, and it's asking me to update the price in accordance. So if there are price breaks there, it will take advantage of them and pick them up properly. So those are special prices in SAP Business One. And then we can also override the preferred supplier, and you can choose another supplier if needed there, and it will put the price. So you can override the price too. So you can override the price and the items, quantities, and which warehouse you will have it delivered on. So if I click update there, it's told me that 3 new purchase orders have been created. Right, so if we close that window, so let's suppose that, let's go and have a look at those purchase orders. So we can see some here, there's one there, there's another there. Those were the 3 that were created just now. And also we can see all open. You can manage all of your purchase orders from the open items list just here. So here I can manage purchase orders. So here you can see all the purchase orders, and I'm sure the ones at the top there will be the purchase order. This is one of the purchase orders that was created now, this one at the top here. So you can see the purchase orders that were created there. So this is one there. You can see that the origin is MRP was the origin there. Right, so we can bring on the screen the purchase order, and from here we can copy this to a goods receipt. So the goods arrive on site and we want to record that the goods have arrived inside SAP Business One. So here I can do a copy to goods receipt PO. Now earlier, while I was offline, I did deliver some of the other goods, so that's why we've got less goods showing now. So I can change that amount or just leave it. So I can just leave it there. And then I can go one step back. And the good thing is you've got good visibility in SAP Business One, so you can see the relationship map. So we can see here that a single purchase order, we had 1 delivery earlier of this value. This is the one I did earlier, and this is the one I did just now, recorded on the seminar, on the webinar. So you can see there all of the goods receipts that have been received. So if we just click, drill down here, we can do a right click. We can see in the stock, we can see the in stock were refreshed, the amounts. And also one thing that I didn't show you earlier, the available to promise. So the available to promise allows you to see in chronological order what demand and supply there is on a particular item. So you can drill down here and you can see the sales orders that are in effect, and also you can drill down to see which purchase orders are in effect for a particular item, for a particular warehouse if needed. So you can see here what's been ordered, what's been committed for our customers, and what's available chronologically based on the various transactions in date order. So this is the available to promise. Right, so we've received the goods and we've got some sales orders. So let's move to the sales side. So we're going to process some orders. So if we go to sales order, we can see here a typical sales order from a customer, and we're recording obviously the items that are being purchased by the customer. The logistics side, we can have various ship tos, more than one ship to, address there, a bill to, and this order we can see I've got a blue line here, so some of that already has been delivered. I can check with the relationship map and I can see that there's already been a part delivery. So the whole order was worth 58 and only some of the order was delivered. So we create a sales order here and then we manage our picking and packing with the pick and pack manager. So let's go to stock management, go to pick and pack manager. So here we can filter what sales orders to display, but we will click OK. And here you can display on the screen various status of the sales orders towards the picked. So these are open sales orders. These are sales orders that have been released for picking at the warehouse. And these are, here at the moment there's none, but these would show sales orders that have been picked but haven't yet been converted to a delivery note. So here on the screen here you can double click and you can sort by different columns. You can select which sales order lines you actually want to create a single pick list, and you can create that and it will be moved to the release drawer. Right, so if I go to the release drawer here, I can see that there are 3 different pick lists, so we can see them there. So this is an example here. Here's a pick list here, and it's telling us for Jason Butler that he needs to pick so many items from the warehouse. So this is a pick list that is displayed, so you can go to the warehouse and you can do some picking of this item. And then that would be converted into a picked item, and then the delivery note would be created. So let's go and have a look at a delivery note that was done recently. Let's have a look at the relationship map, and we can see here a delivery now. If we can see a little bit earlier, excuse me, maybe we can see a sales order to delivery. So this is a very simple sales order to delivery, but as you saw earlier with the purchase processing, you can have a single sales order and you can have more than one delivery, so that's possible too. So here's a good example. Right, this one's a more complex one with down payment. So you can see the relationship map, the way it brings excellent transparency to the user. Right, so stock management. So you're managing your warehouse, you're managing stock. So let's go into stock management. So we've got our stock transactions. So obviously we're going to manage goods receipt of stock. So maybe you might receive some stock that came back from an exhibition that was lent out to some salespeople, or maybe in the corner of the warehouse suddenly you found out some items that weren't captured before in the system, so you might have a goods receipt. You might have some goods issues, so maybe you have to write off some items. That's where you use goods issue. Stock transfer, this is where you can record transfer from one warehouse to another or from one bin location to another. And then we've got the stock counting transaction. So this is where you can count your stock on a regular basis, and you can decide which stock you want to count and make adjustments to the system. So this is your stock counting, and the system can alert you and remind you for certain items. It's cycle counting and remind you to actually start counting particular items. So that's the stock counting functionality. Now, stock revaluation allows you to either change the price, the actual cost of an item in the system, or it even allows you to make an adjustment of the debit or credit in your assets, in your stock figure, and it allows you to revalue your stock in that way. So there you have that functionality, which is among one of the favorites from our finance people. Yeah. Right, so here you can manage the different price lists. So here, this is very flexible, so you can create a price list, and you can see here that we are using factors to base a price list on another price list in order to keep down maintenance. So for example, you have a base price list, which a default factor of 1, and if I double click on there, you can see it's got various prices here. And let's say we have a distributor sales price, so that can be based on the base price, and you've got an uplift of 25% there. So you can see the way that you're managing a price list, and this is multi-currency, and it can manage the regular currency, and it can manage an additional 2 currencies for a single price list. So that really gets your maintenance effort down for managing price lists. Let's go back down to the stock management. So there's a variety of stock reports, so you can check all the posting for a particular item, for a particular warehouse. You can check the actual value of the stock for particular items in a particular warehouse, what their value is based on a particular price list. With the stock audit report and the stock in warehouse, you can base it on a price list. You can see reports about the bin locations, about batches, so you can track your batches, and you can see reports on the batches. So you can see here the actual transactions. So you can see here this particular printer label. You can see when it came into the system. So if I drill down there, I can see the goods receipt that triggered off that to come in the company, and I can see the delivery note that actually the actual item left our premises and went to the customer. So full transparency there in regards to serial numbers and batch numbers. Right, so I think we've done a full circle there with regards to wholesale and distribution. I'm Sotos Soteriou. Thank you very much for listening, and listen again to the rest of our seminar series, and see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.